What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Daniel Cormier concerned for the UFC White House card. This past week, we got huge UFC news that was revealed by the US president himself that the UFC will be hosting a card with a championship fight at the White House. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. Well, Daniel Cormier seems to be concerned about who will headline the card based on current champions, considering that there's no American champs. Now, some of you may think, isn't Merab a US champion considering he's an American citizen? That is true, but DC is referring to an American-born champion, and the last one we had was John Jones. This is what DC had to say during a recent episode of Good Guy Bad Guy on ESPN.
Who's the main event? We can't headline the White House, no disrespect to anyone, with a Russian versus a Spaniard. We can't do a Brazilian versus a Georgian. What do? We have to have an American in the main event at the White House. At least I feel that would happen. So does it make it to where if Jones goes, I am able to do it, I want to do it? Or do you say, we headline with someone else? And here's the problem. You put John versus Tom. Tom's from England. I mean, yeah, we're celebrating our independence from England on July 4th. We want to put John in there to represent us against Tom. What if Tom wins? All of a sudden the English wins? I mean, come on, jail.
What are your thoughts on Daniel Cormier's comments? Let us know in the comment section below. Sean O'Malley returns to social media. One of the biggest pieces of news leading into O'Malley versus Merab 2 was Sean quitting social media to focus on the rematch. Not only did he quit social media, he also quit the smoky lettuce and stopped doing things to himself to keep it PG for YouTube. Well, it looks like Sean O'Malley might be returning to social media because he shared the following video.
Alright guys, last 6 months I've been completely off social media and I'm staying off social media, but I was not really creating a lot of content these last 6 months. We're still putting out content, but not a lot. But I feel rejuvenated. I feel like I'm excited to create content again. So we're gonna be posting a lot of content. I got a new business coming out. I'm excited to get the creative juices flowing.
So yeah, O'Malley basically said he will not be using social media, but he's going to post more content on social media. Max Holloway demands change in UFC rankings. Max Holloway is demanding the UFC to change the rankings and remove him from the featherweight rankings completely. As of right now, Holloway is still ranked number 1 in the featherweight division. He claims that he's never going back down to 145, and it's kind of ridiculous that he's still ranked as a featherweight. Here's what Max had to say.
I don't know what you guys are thinking and keeping me the number 1 contender there, because that's kind of ridiculous. I'm not going back to 45. I'm over it. And, it feels good. It feels great, man. It's ridiculous. I don't understand. I mean, the rankings, period, bro. I don't get it. The rankings is just... It's just all over the place, man. You know how, we go back to the Gaethje fight. Gaethje was the number 1 contender when I fought him at 55. To finish the fight with that point down in that moment, I thought definitely when the rankings come out, I wouldn't come out at number 9. That's just ridiculous. And the guy was still at 5 or something, or 4. So at the end of the day, the rankings is, they're all over the place, So like when I see, and even with Ilia, Ilia coming up, as soon as he announced he was coming up, they took him directly out of the damn 45 one and they left me at number 1 contender. So that was more like, I was like, what the hell is going on?
What are your thoughts on Max Holloway's comments about everything? Paddy Pimblett says he will knock out Ilia Topuria. A fight between Paddy Pimblett and Ilia Topuria may not be official, but the two have continued to trade verbal jabs online. During an interview with Sky Sports News, the baddie shared his prediction for a potential fight, saying that he's confident he can finish El Matador the same way Conor McGregor finished Jose Aldo, but if he does, he would be disappointed. I finish him. I don't see him lasting 5 rounds with me. I genuinely believe I'd finish him. Keep having mad dreams that I finish him in like the first 10 seconds like McGregor did Aldo. That wouldn't be good enough for him. I'd want to beat him up for a consistent couple of rounds, hit him with over like 70 elbows, disfigure him a little bit, and then finish him. While Pimblett and Topuria seem to be on a collision course, Justin Gaethje is eager to get a crack at the title. During a video for Skimboarder Austin Keen's YouTube channel, Gaethje revealed that he's got his sights set on knocking the newly minted champion out.
You got winning that fight between Topuria and Oliveira, and who would you rather fight for the belt?
I don't care who wins. I just want to fight the winner. Topuria's, the big name right now, cocky. I would love to knock him out, but Oliveira beat me, so I want to fight him again. So I don't give a who wins. I hope one of them is put to sleep, and I get to fight the winner in November in Madison Square Garden.
On top of that, the highlight revealed that he traded the Ferrari he won at Fanatics Fest for $400,000. After knocking out Alexander Volkanovski, Max Holloway, and now Charles Oliveira, Topuria has become the pound-for-pound kingpin. The way Joaquin Buckley sees things, Topuria is on the verge of earning a spot on MMA's Mount Rushmore.
If Ilia Topuria is able to move up and fight Islam at 170 for the belt, you know, we always talk about, you know, the GOATs, right, of MMA. And, you know, now everybody's opinion is different for sure, right? But, you know, I'm always saying these 4 names for sure, right? It's John Jones, George St. Pierre, Demetrius Johnson, and Khabib Nurmagomedov, right? Those are always the 4 names that I usually hear amongst people. And with that being said, out of those 4 names, right, if Topuria does what he does and becomes, you know, and gets 3 straps, right, in 3 different divisions, I truly believe he does put himself in a position to become an all-time great. Who you think he replaced off that mountain? Who y'all think he replaced off of that Mount Rushmore?
If Makhachev winds up winning gold at welterweight, from the sounds of things, we could see Topuria make the jump up in weight to pursue a 3rd title. Bo Nickal prank gone wrong. As we await word on Bo Nickal's next fight inside the octagon, the NCAA legend wound up getting pranked by a content creator while in the gym. From the looks of things, however, the prank went wrong when the perpetrator took a knee to the ribs.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Johnny, this week can't take no knees.
Bro, what are you doing?
No, I'm talking to him. I seen his last fight.
Me?
Yeah, you. You can't take no knees. I seen it.
You a fighter?
No, I ain't talking to you. I'm on the phone.
Take a knee?
No, I'm on the phone, bro. What the?
You good, bro? You good?
I heard something crack.
Bro.
The creator shared the video on social media along with the caption, "Did you guys hear that crack? Bo Nickal got really mad, but it was just a prank." The creator, who goes by I'm Red TV, has done prank videos with UFC fighters in the past, specifically leading up to the UFC 300 card when he did a prank video with Jamal Hill, Aljamain Sterling, and several other fighters. So far, no word yet on when Nickal will be back in the octagon. However, in the meantime, fans will likely have a chance to see him on the mats again in the Real American Freestyle Wrestling League. UFC updates. Heading into this weekend's Lewis Teixeira card in Nashville, let's take a look at today's UFC updates, starting with a new addition to the UFC Shanghai card on August 23rd. According to reports, Song Kenan will collide with Kiefer Crosby on the card, as Song looks to bounce back from a first-round knockout loss to Muslim Salikov back in November, and Crosby looks to snap a 2-fight skid that has now seen him submitted in back-to-back fights. Next up, we got a new addition to the UFC Fight Night Paris card on September 6th, with Modestas Bukauskas set to fight Paul Craig. The fight will see Bukauskas look to build on a 3-fight win streak that most recently saw him pick up a split decision victory over Ion Cutelaba back in May. On the flip side, Craig will look to get back in the win column after 3 straight losses, and most recently, a no contest against Rodolfo Bellato. According to Mattel's Gamrot, he will not be throwing down with Benoit Saint-Denis on the card. In a post on social media, Gamrot took aim at BSD, writing, "You should have put the papers in with that pen. You're lucky that UFC doesn't want me to smash you in your homeland." Shifting gears, we recently reported on how, although Nicholas Malta left Baku with $100,000 in bonus money, he also suffered a broken jaw. On the heels of his fight with Nazim Sadikov, Malta got a full gladiator-themed chest tattoo by Brazilian artist Italo Nanais. Malta was quoted as saying, "It wasn't just about winning. This fight was about resilience, mindset, and going all in. I needed to carry that with me forever. Italo was the only one who could bring that vision to life." And last but not least, the UFC has released the poster for the UFC 319 event. So we want to hear from you. What do you think of the DDP Chimaev poster? Ilia Topuria responds to Arman Tsarukyan. After seeing Ilia Topuria defeat Charles Oliveira, Arman Tsarukyan revealed in an interview that he thinks he'd be able to, quote, maul Topuria on the ground. According to the newly minted champ, however, if Tsarukyan was nearly submitted by Charles Oliveira, then he'll have no problem submitting the streaking contender. During an interview with ABC Spain, El Matador fired back. "Have you seen his fight against Charles Oliveira? How many times did Charles come close to submitting him and tapping him out? I assure you, I'll finish Arman Tsarukyan." Given the bad blood between the two, it'll be interesting to see if the UFC decides to give Tsarukyan the next title fight, despite Dana White saying that him weighing in as the backup at UFC 317 was only a good first step toward getting in the promotion's good graces. Alexander Volkanovski reveals Charles Oliveira's mistake at UFC 317. Heading into UFC 317, Charles Oliveira cited his size and punching power as reasons why he was extremely confident he would beat Ilia Topuria. Well, it sounds like Alexander Volkanovski believes that theory was do Bronx's undoing. Although Topuria had showcased fearsome punching power at featherweight, by taking out the likes of Volkanovski and Max Holloway, Oliveira dismissed arguments he couldn't hang with El Matador standing. Well, as we all know, Topuria ended up starching do Bronx at UFC 317 with 2 brutal hooks, following a grappling exchange in the opening round. More recently, Volkanovski was a guest on the Flagrant podcast. While discussing Oliveira's game plan and performance, the legend said this.
With Charles, I just thought he probably had more other ways of winning. He probably should have avoided the crash, right?
Yeah.
You know, and he just didn't. He just decided to crash, and I knew that. That's why I picked a first round finish.
Really?
Yeah. I thought Ilia was going to knock him out.
And when asked what he thinks opponents need to do against Topuria, Volkanovski was quick to note that fighters have to test El Matador's cardio.
But yeah, we want to see the gas tank, see what happens with that. Because I thought Charles, when he was taking him down and forcing the sort of wrestle and the grapple, I felt like it was starting to wear on him a little bit. So even when he sort of ended up on top when they grapple, I don't know if you remember, Ilia gets up and then, maybe he was just staying up and there was kicking him, didn't let him up. He waited. I'm going to wait 30 seconds, kick his legs.
Interesting.
Get my breath back because, they probably took a little bit out of him, which I thought was clever. And then the ref stood him up and then he's like, all right, back.
What do you make of Volkanovski's comments here? And do you think he's right? You would think Arman Tsarukyan could test Topuria's wrestling defense and cardio if they end up fighting. Or could Paddy Pimblett do the same if he looks to clinch up and take Topuria's back? Sean Strickland denies being kicked out of the gym. During a recent episode of the Overdogs podcast, MMA legend Dan Henderson indicated that he had to kick Sean Strickland out of his gym years back.
You know, he got in a little, argument matches all the time with, some of the guys that thought he was going too hard, and then he would go online and talk about him, and he did it a little bit too much, just more socially. I didn't care what happened in the room, when you send it out to, everybody to hear all that I'm like, it's just disrespectful for your training partners. He just did it too many times. I warned him a bunch and then finally just said, hey dude, you gotta go. But he was a good training partner and I enjoyed having him in there and liked having a guy that, is in there that goes hard.
According to Strickland, however, the story is not true. In the comment section of the video, he fired back. None of this is true. I was Dan's main training partner for his last fight. He retired, the fight team fell off, and when it was time to renew my membership, I left. But he's correct, I would make fun of the fight team constantly. They would do yoga and skip sparring, LOL. KO Kid 951, I'm talking about you, haha. Funny thing is, we're both at Extreme and spar regularly now. So far, no response yet from Hendo. MMA community roasts Jon Jones for comments. After announcing over the weekend that he was re-entering the testing pool, Jon Jones followed it up with a series of posts on social media, writing, "It feels nice to be the hunter and not the hunted for once." Jones then responded to a fan who called his retirement one of the most precise business moves they've seen, adding, "Rule number 1 about Fight Club, never underestimate Jon Jones." The former champion then showed an AI-generated image of himself beating Tom Aspinall at the White House, writing, "I like this." The MMA community was quick to react. So he was too scared of fighting Tom now, so he's going to sit on the sidelines waiting for either Tom to lose or for there to be enough footage of him to form a game plan? Another questioned, "Please, don't tell me he gave up the belt just to fight Tom anyway, so he can have a chance to be 2 times heavyweight champ." One joked, he about to announce that he will be fighting Jamal Hill. Another added, that retirement didn't quite have the impact that his ego needed. One fan explained Jones's post about being the hunter, not the hunted. Probably about the target always on your back from always being champ. Plenty of others were quick to crack jokes. LOL, only thing he is hunting is a place to hide apparently after crashing his car. Bro did his retirement stunt to distract from his drunken car crash, LOL. Some fans are skeptical of a Jones-Aspinall fight happening even if Jones does return. He's not fighting that nobody, LOL. If he comes out of retirement, it's to fight another legend that he thinks he can beat. He's not fighting Tom. There's no incentive and he knows the risk. If Jones is in fact back in the testing pool, he'll be eligible to return in just under 6 months from now. We have a favor to ask. Help us reach 200,000 subscribers on MMA Zone by subscribing and turning on notifications for daily MMA content. Seriously, we rarely miss a day.